So I launched the workshop and it was crickets. I had only two signups. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, I don't feel frustrated. I don't feel like I'm failing. I just feel that this is it. I'm no longer that person, that business coach. I'm no longer that marketing coach. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the Awakened Entrepreneur Show. This is Juan Galan, your host, and I am back with a brand new solo episode, which I haven't done in, I think, over 2 months. And the reason for this is that there has been so much going on behind the scenes, not only in my life, but in my business. And I really, really wanted to find the time to sit down and tell you all about it, tell you all the lessons that I've been learning that I know are going to be really helpful in your journey. And if you've been following me online, you've probably seen that I enter this brand new phase or facet, new content, new frequency, new brand. And it feels so liberating. And I'm going to share with you exactly what happened, why I decided to make this massive pivot, and also the steps I took to actually make it work. Because you know what's so funny? As an ex Instagram marketing coach, I would always tell my clients, like, if you want to pivot, if it's a brand new theme or concept or niche or whatever, you better start a new Instagram account from scratch because you've already trained the algorithm with the topics that you usually talk about, and retraining it is pretty hard. Not impossible, but hard. So it's actually much easier to start from scratch. But I just defied all those rules because I did not start from scratch and I went to a completely new niche and it's working. So I'm going to be sharing all of this with you today. I'm super excited. I want this to be a shorty, but a goodie. So let's go. If I'm completely honest with you, this year has been challenging, and there's been a lot of friction from many different areas of my life, including my business. And as you know, I launched my coaching program, The Awakened Entrepreneur, which I created with so much love and devotion. And my goal was really to help entrepreneurs awaken and build soul aligned businesses. And when I launched it back in February, it did pretty well. And I got people in and we were building the program together. We're loving it. I was having a lot of great feedback from them. And it felt like I was finally on the right track, that God was on my side, that He had opened the gates for not only abundance, but for clarity, for direction. And it worked until it didn't. And around middle of the year, June, July, August, I started to really struggle to get more clients for this program. Even though the program was great and I loved what I created, there was more and more and more resistance. And it got to a point where my revenue really dipped. And at the time, I was working with a business coach to whom I was paying monthly a quite substantial fee. And I also had a project manager and a video editor. So I started to get really stressed out about money because I was not generating that much money anymore, but I still had huge expenses, which is something that I've already experienced in my journey. And I was thinking, like, how am I getting myself into the exact same situation for a second time? Like, it doesn't make sense. I was feeling very, very frustrated. But I kept going, right? I did sign some clients and I kept pushing. I kept going. I'm always all in for everything. Like, I don't quit. But mentally, I was exhausted of trying and trying and trying and not seeing the results after pouring so much into it. So I went to Bali in August and I decided, okay, I'm going to rebrand everything and I will rebrand the program. I still want to use this program because it's great. It's actually really good. And I will change the name and I will make it maybe more appealing to more people. And I'm going to do a workshop, a paid workshop that will serve as kind of like leading people into the program. So I planned out the workshop. Again, in my mind, it was amazing. Incorporated AI, but also like building soul aligned businesses and rebranding from soul. Like, I thought it was genius. And that was the last time I recorded a solo episode. And the two solo episodes I recorded were to promote that workshop. So I launched the workshop and it was crickets. I had only two signups. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, I don't feel frustrated. I don't feel like I'm failing. I just feel that this is it. I'm no longer that person, that business coach. I'm no longer that marketing coach. And I knew it a long time ago, but somehow I was still trying to build a business around that identity. And at that time, I had already started posting some reels around spirituality and deconstructing and religion, decoding the Bible, things that I was really passionate about that I was starting to learn and appreciate and research that I was doing. And one of those videos went bananas, went viral, and it was the first viral reel I had in over 3 years. So that was a sign, right? I clearly saw that as a sign that maybe that's the route I should be taking or the path that I should be taking. But I was still resisting. I was like, in my mind, I was like, well, what is expected of me is to become a business coach, a spiritual business coach to help maybe spiritual entrepreneurs with their business. But I was so fixated into the idea of becoming a business coach that I was completely neglecting all the signs that God and the universe were sending me. So that day when I had 2 sales for the workshop, I was like, okay, this is it. I'm done. And that was the day when I literally just made a decision without any emotion attached to it that everything started shifting so rapidly. And I made a post about it. I remember it's if you go back to my profile and you scroll down, there's like a photo of me in like a red suit and like red background and red sunglasses. And that's what I'm saying. Like something just shifted. So that was the beginning of my quantum leap. And as I said, ever since that moment, everything started accelerating so much. So from that moment, all my content started going viral. I grew 15,000 followers in 1 month after 3 years of losing followers every single day. I came up with this beautiful idea of creating a community for spiritual misfits, seekers of truth, mystics, and I launched it with my partner, Jesse, and the community grew 1,000 members. In 2 weeks, we decided to launch a paid container within that community because the community is free for anyone to join and we offer a lot of free value. But of course, I also want to build a business around this, which is like, I feel it's my true purpose. I launched this program. We launched a beta offer. We filled it up and everything just started moving so fast. And I went from being a business coach, business and marketing coach to becoming a spiritual leader. And people that were reaching out to me in the DMs telling me how grateful they were for the content that I was creating because it was helping them heal their religious trauma or it was saying things that they've always thought about, but they didn't know how to put that into words. And yeah, just it felt so rewarding and again a confirmation that that's exactly what I was supposed to do. And I've never felt more aligned with what I'm doing now. And this new business that I'm building and this new purpose that I have is to really help humanity, not just business owners, but humans, souls, remember their divinity, awaken to truth that they don't need anything external to connect with the divine. Everything is inside of us and we can connect directly to source, to God if we look within. But most people forgot about this. And that is my purpose. I want to lead people back into remembrance and create a positive impact in awakening humanity and raising consciousness. So that's my new purpose. And that doesn't mean that I will stop doing business stuff. I love business as well. But right now in this season of my life, I'm going all in on the Mystic Misfit Society and the paid containers we're offering inside, which I'm linking all of that in the show notes in case you're curious. But now I want to share with you the 5 catalysts that allowed me to really quantum leap like that into a brand new identity, a brand new business, a new idea, new clients in such a short amount of time. Okay. And the first one is healing my visibility wound. Talked about this multiple times on the show. I've carried a lot of visibility wounds for a long time, ever since being bullied as a teenager. That trauma that was created from being bullied shaped my relationship with showing up online. And even though I thought that I had heal that and I built my first brand and business, the IG Creator Academy, showing up on video, going viral again, growing a community really fast. I was still hiding under educational content. I was still hiding under like polished stuff. I was not being myself and expressing my truth. Why? Because I hadn't healed my wounds yet. And it took me years of therapy, years of inner work, meditation, journaling. Most recently, I started doing somatic work, like breath work, and really feeling into my body where these wounds were still persisting. And that made me realize the shame that I was still carrying from my own voice, from sharing my own opinions, from my true identity, my sexuality, and my beliefs. Because visibility wounds live in the body and they were still in the body. And all that work that I did catalyzed that day when I made that decision. And when I finally stopped associating visibility with danger, people started feeling my new frequency. That doesn't mean that I was not scared. I was actually pretty scared of starting to talk more about these controversial topics. As you know, I got baptized as a Christian, and a lot of the things that I'm sharing now go against like traditional Christianity. And I was scared to be judged by my new Christian community online, my Christian friends in Bali. But sometimes when you have this fear and it's like this paralyzing fear that's telling you, what the hell are you doing? Go back to the comfort zone. And that's what I was feeling. When I felt that, when you feel that, it's time to lean in. It's a sign that you are on the right path. At least I saw it like that, and I did not listen to that voice in my mind, and I kept going and I did it. Which takes me to catalyst number 2, which I just mentioned briefly. I started owning my polarity. I stopped playing safe and sharing safe stuff, which is what my mind was telling me when I was feeling scared. I remember thinking one day, shit, what am I getting myself into? What am I getting myself into? I should just go back to play it safe, to the safe zone, safe content. But owning my polarity also raised my frequency and my authority. And if you want, the ultimate tip to go viral on social media is to be polarizing. Find a topic in your industry that can make you polarizing, that may be something that a lot of people agree on, and well, you don't agree with that. You disagree with that because of this, and this. People will talk. You'll get a lot of negative comments for sure, a lot of positive, but the positive ones are the ones that are going to see you as an authority. And that's what I did. I stopped trying to please Christians, marketers, spiritual people, or anyone. I just spoke my truth, my sexuality, mysticism, biblical mistranslations, and my own views on everything. The content that I started creating cannot be found anywhere else online. It's my own views. And that's what makes it unique. And that is what probably made it so magnetic and attracted so many people into my page. And the more I posted, the more I felt energized and I felt this passion for sharing. And the more people started to reach out, telling me like, I finally feel seen, I finally feel heard, or finally someone is saying what I feel. And that right there makes up for all the hate, all the criticism, all the judgment, all the rejection that you can get when you are polarizing. So own your polarity. Polarity isn't conflict, it is clarity. When you take a stand, you make it possible for people to stand with you. Moving on to catalyst number 3. I started trusting divine downloads. All of these ideas that I was getting, they were not planned. I stopped planning my content, like altogether. I truly feel that there is this divine force, whether it's God or an angel or Yeshua, that is working through me and wants me to bring this truth to the world. And you might think I'm crazy, but it's what I feel. And then anytime like I get so many downloads of what I should say, and I just do it. And again, I've shared this before in other episodes. I call it the intuitive content creation process, when you're so in tune with your purpose that just ideas come flowing like rivers. Like I wish I had more time to record all the stuff that I want to share, and I don't filter anything. If God wants me to say something, if God wants me to share a specific thing that might ruffle some feathers, I will do it. I'm not scared anymore. And that's how I've experienced the fastest growth I've ever seen since starting my Instagram account 4 years ago. So when your content comes from your instead of strategy, it hits differently. It bypasses the mind and goes straight into the heart. The fourth catalyst was the identity alchemy, which was an outcome of the previous three. But in order to experience an identity alchemy, you have to have an internal death before the rebirth. And that is exactly what I had been experiencing for the last couple of months. That frustration, that stagnation, that resistance, all of that was God making space, removing anything that no longer served this new timeline that He was creating for me, for my rebirth. And then when you're in that threshold and you realize that you're holding onto an identity, an old identity, because it feels safe, but it's not necessarily your truth. It's like the veil is completely lifted. And now you can't unsee truth anymore, or at least your truth, because I believe that truth is very subjective. But that's for another episode, I guess. What I want to say here is that it took me months in order to get to that point where that day, I made a decision. And maybe it shouldn't have taken me months. Maybe if I would have seen things clearly and if I wouldn't have attached myself to that identity for so long because of what was expected of me, I would have made that quantum leap much faster. But again, I feel everything happens for a reason and everything is divinely planned. And it just had to happen that way. But the moment that I decided to let that version of me die was the moment that everything started moving so fast. So what I wanted you to learn from this is that you cannot quantum leap with the identity that built your stuckness, because identity alchemy collapses timelines, because it collapses resistance. And the catalyst number 5 is strategy. But I'm leaving strategy for last, because if you're not in alignment, no strategy will work. I'm living proof of that. Strategy amplifies alignment. I have the luck, I guess, that I did come from a marketing and content background. So I know what works in social media. I know how to create good hooks. I know how to create good scripts, captions. So I just brought all that knowledge that I had acquired before and put it into this new identity. And that's why, again, my hooks are working so well. My retention rate is the highest it's ever been. And my growth is accelerating because I know how to play the rules of social media. But again, if I wouldn't have gone through the 4 previous steps and be in complete alignment, none of this would work. Strategy is now the amplifier. So if you just focus on strategy without asking yourself, is this my true identity? Or am I just performing based on what people expect from me or what the world expects from me or what my clients expect from me? If you don't ask yourself as well, am I forcing content because it is what I'm expected to post? Or should I trust more my intuition and these divine downloads of the content that is true to my voice and to who I am? And you're always getting these insights and these downloads. You're just not listening. And if you're not being polarizing enough or brave enough to be polarizing, to ruffle some feathers, or if you haven't healed your visibility wounds, no strategy will work. So that's it. Those are the 5 catalysts that really helped me quantum leap into this new timeline. Before we go, I do want to leave these 3 questions for you to reflect on where you're at and where you want to be and what you need in order to quantum leap. So question number 1 is, where am I still hiding my true voice online? Question number 2 is, what part of me is trying to please everyone? And question number 3, what identity do I need to release to step into the version of me that is rising? And here's one thing that I want you to do after you've answered these 3 questions, and is to go and spend 60 seconds posting, writing, or recording something uncensored that your soul has been wanting to say. Now, I know that this episode is going to activate the person who is ready for a timeline shift. You just need to make sure that the 5 catalysts I mentioned, they're checked, and just make that decision. Who do you want to become? Or who are you already in that timeline that you want to collapse? Because that version of you already exists. You just need to tune into it. And if you're not there yet, remember, inner work is what opens the portal. I have an episode where I share my inner work practices and how you can start doing your own inner work practice or ritual. So I'll make sure to link that in the show notes. And before we go, Thank you as always, friend. It's been so nice to do another solo episode. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the podcast, share a review with me, rate it so that it can reach more people. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend who might be struggling or might be feeling stuck. And friend, I love you. I see you. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.